Hello there, how are you doing? Now in this video we're going to integrate Redux. Okay, so far we have been using only React with Firebase, so you could create, you could read using just React. Now this same workflow, how Redux would fit into this context. So let's see that, because if we do more then it might make it difficult to understand. So this is a perfect time to introduce Redux. Okay, there will be quite a lot of things to set up, so don't get frustrated or anything like that. Okay, so that's how it works. To begin with, we have to do certain setup which can get irritating and which can be confusing, but there is nothing to be confused. Okay, it is really straightforward, and I will explain to you everything in detail. But when we go through this initial setup, just don't stress, because that's the requirement. It's just like, creating folders, creating files, that's requirement, something like that. It's basic requirement, nothing to be scared of. Okay, so I'll be with you, I'll be guiding you through every step. So let's do it. So the first thing, let's have a look at the package.json file. We already installed Redux, that's good. We have the Redux dev tools. All right, we have React Redux, awesome. So we already did include those packages. So what we need is we need to begin. So how do we begin is, first thing, we go to index.js file. This is the main file. Okay, let me close this one. So this is the main file. This is where our app is being rendered to the element and all this stuff. So this is where we create a Redux store. Okay, so the Redux store, what it requires is it requires reducers, which are basically functions. Okay, so Redux, which requires reducers. Okay, so reducers are reducer work based on the accents. Okay, simple as that. Redux requires reducers, Redux store requires reducers, and reducers require accent. Simple as that. Okay, and then we apply certain middlewares. So Redux, so what are we going to do? First we're going to import Redux, right? So what are we going to import from Redux? We need this method called create store. Okay, we get this method from Redux, as well as we need apply middleware method. Okay, so we need these two from Redux. Okay, so when we're going to create a store will take this take reducer, which is based on action. Okay, and then there is another thing called apply middleware. Okay, and we're going to apply a middleware which is called thunk, Redux thunk. That will help us make Ajax calls from the actions. Otherwise, by default, the Redux does not allow you to make Ajax call from action. So we will see that in action. I'm not going to do this now. Okay, we'll see this in later. The next thing we want is import provider. Okay, P capital. Okay, PROVID. This is a provider component from React Redux. Now remember, this React Redux is a separate package which helps us connect Redux side and the React side. Okay, it's a connector. Okay, it's kind of that's why the name, it, you can guess it's a provider. Okay, so we got these two things. Now what we do is we create a store, simple as that. So const, and let's call it store equals to, we use this method that we got from Redux to create a store, the global store, simple as that, create store. Now it takes some arguments. So the first argument is reducers, which we haven't created yet, so don't worry about this one. Which reducers need accent, so we don't have that accent, just don't worry about that one. We're going to apply middleware, which is a Redux thunk, but we don't, let's do it later so it's crystal clear to you. Okay, so what do we pass here? The only thing we can pass is this DevTools extension, if you remember, that makes our development process super easy. Where is that? Package.json. So this one, okay, this is really good too. So what we're going to do is let's import that. So import, and then it's called compose with dev tools. Okay, so this variable or component, whatever you like to call it, import this one from, so import compose with the dev tools from Redux dev tools extension. Okay, this is the package we create. So now when we create a Redux store, the only thing, because we didn't have anything yet, we just have, let's use this one. So what it does is it helps us see the Redux state in the browser. Okay, so we create a store. So the next step would be to provide the store to React. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this provider component and we're going to use this component to wrap this component. That way the entire React application has been provided with this one, and we pass the state with along with provider. Okay, so that is next, but first let's fulfill all these criteria for a store, because basically all we did here is call this method, and only thing we have is this dev tools. We don't have anything else. So let's create reducers. Okay, reducers are basically functions, and these functions should work based on the actions. Okay, so what sort of action has been dispatched, based on that these reducers will produce the result. So let's continue this application in the next video. All right, so I'll see you in the very next video. Thank you.